Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. You gotta get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Once again, I greet you all in the name of God of the Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
It's nice to be here.
Nandi bala.
How many are tired? I can hear. That is a bishop practice. I hope by the end of the day you'll be refreshed.
Amen.
All right. I have prepared something to share or to discuss with you. Racism and Christianity. It's one subject which is very, it's not really nice to present it, but it's necessary. It's not nice because it invokes certain emotions. And in the position that I'm in, after presenting what you present, people should still remain Christians. So that's the challenge that one is faced with. It's not really a nice subject to listen to, because I think to many of us it gets too close. So I hope that we try to look at what God says we should do. We will be able to strike the balance. There were times where we thought that such subjects are not supposed to be discussed in these forums, because they don't seem to be Christian-like. I understand why we think of that. See, most of the touchy subjects, it is easier to avoid than to attend, because you are not really interested in provoking someone. But this subject, beloved, is provocative. There is no way that you can run about it.
Yeah,
We have to look at it fairly, honestly, then discuss it. See what God wants us to do. And I thank the Lord for this opportunity personally. Because as I was studying, I'm not sure that some of you have seen the book. It's a powerful compilation which says cancels for the blacks. It's the spirit of prophecy. All that the brothers did is to just do a compilation of that. Put everything together as to what Ellen White says about racism and how blacks are to be treated. So I will challenge you to actually read that book. Download it, you can get a PDF, download it, read it through. In my personal experience in this Christian journey, I have not seen a person that is able to balance messages like prophecies. He has a well-balanced message. The other thing that I will say is, I'm going to start now, is that we may confess Christ, sincerely so, but if we keep silent at the very point where Christ and Satan are in controversy, we are not confessing Christ. Are you following me? So that was at that very point, which the heat is hotter. This is where we are supposed to be found. So I believe this is one of the subjects that needs to be discussed honestly, faithfully. And I would have wished that we had mixed races. Because at this point we have one emotion. Alright, so let me start with this quotation. It reads as follows. Religion of the Bible recognizes no caste or color. And I think this quotation answers many questions that you'll find amongst the Africanism movement. And ignores rank, wealthy honor. God esteems man as man. With him, character decides their worth. Remember the speech, Martin Luther King, where he was saying that it was actually the dream that he had. That man will not be judged by the color of his skin, but by the content of his mind. Now here we are told that our worthiness before God is not measured by how much we have, what color we are, but by the by the character in which we possess. So character above all things. That's the standard that we find in God. And we are not to recognize, and we are to recognize the Spirit of Christ in whosoever He is revealed. Please take note of this last line. Recognizing the Spirit of Christ in whosoever is revealed. Because as we continue, as we are going to be getting closer to the Adventist movement and racism, this line will be very important. Recognizing the Spirit, I'm repeating myself so that at least it will be nailed in our minds. Recognizing the Spirit of Christ in whomsoever He is working. So that is Testimonies 9. So what is racism? It is a belief. What is a belief? It's a question that I'm posing to the class. I'm not preaching, so don't be tempted to listen without engaging your mind. What is belief? Do we have believers? Are they there? Maybe another question. Who cares if they ask a question or not? Do we care? Alright. Is there anyone who wants to give an answer of this question? The brother says it's a teaching. I believe it's a teaching. Community.
It's a conviction.
What would community conviction? Practicing what you think is what is right. Is there any last one?
Works together with faith.
It works together with what?
Faith in God.
Alright. And there's all those things that you've said that you will find them in believing it. There should be a teaching. There must be acceptance of that teaching. There must be practice on that thing. Upholding of that, practicing it as the truth and that which is right to be done. Then also it says it's an attitude, a behavior, an institutional, systematic approach. So as we are looking at racism, because this is the argument that you'll also find, that racism is an individual thing. But it goes beyond just an individual. Have you heard people saying that you can't judge me by the rest of the community? It is true in a way, but it is partially true. Because you have a system which is a system of racism. Are we together? Then it says that degrades, belittles, and devalues groups based on their color of skin. So a person is measured by how he looks more than what he is. Are we together? So based on your color or the color of your skin, it will be a deciding factor as to how you're going to be treated in the society, or by individuals, or by the system at large. Are we together? Please take note of these things because as we continue, they'll be important. Deployment of power against groups perceived as inferior at both individual level and institutional level. Are we together? So this is, in short, this is what I thought would be the best definition of what racism is. And I'm sure there is much more that we can get from the congregation. However, I will limit my discussion on this definition. So what are the effects of racism? The reason I'm bringing this is because I want you to understand as you continue and what we need to do, because it will be pointless for us to gather in here. It will be pointless for us to gather in here if we leave this place without any resolution of practical application. So that is why we need to know and understand the effects of racism. Because if they are not good, it will mean that your responsibility is to reverse that. If we fail to reverse that, that means that means this gathering was in vain. Are we together? So number one, socio-economic disparities. So in other words, there will be a difference of distributing goods based on your color. Neighborhood conditions. Neighborhood conditions. And I think this is very important because what makes us discuss the issue of racism today, it is because of the certain behaviors that we see being manifest by the black community. For a thinking person, you have to think, you have to begin to ask yourself, why do people behave the way they do? Are you following me? It's important for us to understand that. Because there is a certain behavior that we see being manifest amongst us, which needs to be answered as to why. Because I mean we are told, when there is a case, a cause must be ascertained. Even in diseases, that's what we do, isn't it so? Ascertain the cause, correct the wrong behaviors, and you can assist the system that cut across in every situation that you find yourself in. Ascertain the cause, then correct wrong habits, then you can get assistance for healing. It is my personal belief that blacks need healing. Probably you are suffering from what they call post-traumatic stress. It's a post and a continual. You hear that? This is the problem that we have issues that were not dealt with properly in the past, which are affecting us currently. But also we have current situations that are facing. So as a people, we have a double portion of responsibility. Dealing with the past, the present, looking to us with and if we are not going to be decided on these issues, it will mean that our children are going to suffer the same problems that they suffer, with extension of their own. Are you following me? So you have neighborhood, then you have also family history. Actually, this was very interesting when I was studying.
Yeah,
Just after the slave abolishment in America, one guy decided to go and try and find out the history of his family. So he went to the farm owner and asked if there were any records left. So the farm owner said, yes, there are. He went, took those records. Instead of giving this young man, he bent the record in front of the young man. And he says, take the ashes and see what you can do with that. Find the history of your family there. You will understand why it was important to hide such histories. As we continue with the lesson. So these are the things that are very important for us to understand. Then the other one is life experiences. There are things that are constantly in our presence, which are a result of racism. Have you ever seen a young man being insulted by a white guy? Instead of being angry, he's laughing. He's not laughing because he's fine with it. It's only that the superior is dealing with the inferior. I remember my brother was working for this company for many years until the owner of the company retired and the young man took over. And this young man is younger than my brother. So he would speak anyhow to my brother. And that was really hurting. Because the brother knows the company better than the owner. But because of the color of the skin, the treatment was not good. He ended up resigning. So the point that I'm trying to bring here, life experiences for racism. And for those that have worked in corporate world, then you know this now. We're not. Then you have also exposure to violence. Racism itself. So these are the effects that we are faced with. And all that may be caused by the experiences that we have had in racism. Some of those experiences were not ours, but we inherited them from our parents. Are you following me? So certain behaviors that we are seeing manifest in us are but an inheritance from our parents. So this is why it's important for us to look at these things and try to build up. So in discussing these things, I'll actually take you to America. Then we will look at some historical background. Then I think my last two presentations we'll be dealing with racism in the Adventist Church, particularly in South Africa. Is that fine? So, there is a guy that was asked. This is in America. Remember the southern part and the northern part in America? I will assume that we have a bit of a background of these things. If you don't, it's fine, we'll help you go in a second. So, in the southern part, that's where the slaves were. But they had a problem. The problem is that they were struggling to control the slaves. So they had to ask this man to come and assist them as to how to deal with the slaves. And for me, this seems to be a blueprint of the treatment of those that are regarded as inferior. And the method that he was employing, you will see exactly as to how the enemy works. It's very important for us to understand. Probably some of us that have been studying the Black history, they may have come across with the lynching. So it will be just a reminder or at least a reinforcement of what we have done. The infamous Will Lynch later gave Africans some insight concerning the brutal and inhumane psychology behind the African slave trade. So we're going to go through this letter as to what it says and how are they supposed to deal with slaves. And that will then help us to see whether we are still in slavery or we are free. Because you cannot set man free when he does not believe that he's in bondage. Are we together? For me to appreciate freedom, it's when I'm clear and I'm conscious that I'm a slave, I need deliverance. That is why when you read Zeerust, it says that God does not send the message to sinners in their sins. But He doesn't send the messages to comfort the sinners in their sins. But He lays a heavy burden in the hearts so that can provoke a desire for freedom. This is what will then help us to cry, "Oh wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death?" It is only as we realize that we are slaves of the system. Are we together? So we continue. The materialistic viewpoint of Southern plantation honors that slavery was a business. And the victims of chattel slavery were merely pawns in an economic game of debauchery. Crossbreeding. So crossbreeding is like taking one dog, certain type of a dog, mix it with another, then you come up with a different species.
Oh, okay. Crossbreeding like that.
So you will understand why this point is very important as we continue. So maybe in the interest of the discussion, let me just declare this in this point in time. Crossbreeding is when you take a white person, split with a black, then they produce a color. It was necessary for them to have that for certain aspect of control. Are we together? So there's crossbreeding. Interracial rape. Racial rape. That's raping.
Oh, okay.
It was by plan that people must be raped. Are you following me? Then it also speaks of mental conditioning of Negroid race. They considered subhuman. So in other words, blacks were considered sub what? Humans. This is the man that was asked to come and assist with the plan of controlling the black race. So we are looking at what you are saying, the strategies that you are bringing. And the reason I'm bringing this, I repeat, it is for you and for me to understand where we stand within the system. Alright, this is what he says. Gentlemen, I greet you on the banks of James River in the year of the Lord. Then he mentions the year. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods of controlling of slaves.
yebo umema kwenu kungithole vese ngingabhekana nayo ezinye zendlela zokuphatha abantu abamnyama nokubabusa ngendlela.
So this man is a man of experience.
yena indoda ke yamava.
And I mean, when you are invited to a specific gathering,
umenyiwe
it means that you are worth something.
usho ukuthi wena unento ethile.
Does it make clear? Does it make sense?
Uyasana.
Then he says, ancient Rome
iRoma
will
yakudala.
envy us if our program is, if my program is implemented. So he says Rome, as big as it was,
Roma,
if they will see what I'm proposing, they will envy us. So now the strategy that I'm bringing is far beyond that which the ancient empire used to control men. So he says, as our boat sailed south of James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish. Named of our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish. I saw enough to know your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses, for standing human bodies along its old highways in great numbers. Humans. So in other words, they will crucify him. You are using the trees and rocks on occasion. So he says that you guys are using violence just like they did. Because that's what they used to do, isn't it so? They will torture you, they will beat you, they will throw you into the lions, and they will chow you. But I caught with wolf of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stocks by hanging, you are having uprising slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. However, I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. So he outlines the method that they use. And he also tells them that the pitfalls of those methods. Obviously, when you kill a slave, it means that you don't have a labor. When they run away, it means that the plantation are going to die. So he's introducing a new method which will solve the economic crisis. Because that was the economic crisis. For as long as the slaves are running away, there will be poverty in the community. For as long as they kill them, there will be poverty in the community. So a new system must be introduced, which will be beneficial to the economy of the then system. Are we together? So he continues. In my bag here, I have foolproof method of controlling our black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if it is instilled correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. This should be a very strong system. It should be enduring. Now, what would be the system with such a power? And I want to suggest from the time he delivered this speech, it has worked enough today. And I suggest to you That for as long as it is implemented, and for those that it's being implemented to are accepting it, it will still continue for until Jesus comes. I'm going to get. Then he says, my method is simple. Any member of a family or your overseer can use it. So this is the outline. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. Take note of this. What is it that he has done? He looks at the slaves. He looks at the differences. Obviously, we are not the same. We may all be black, but we are not the same. Even our blackness, it's not the same. So that's point number one. Then he continues. And I take those differences and make them big. So obviously those that have sharp nose and those that have broad nose. So you match out those things. Are you following me? Then he says, I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. So your differences are helpful to those that control. Are you following me? Then the envy that is constantly fostered in our minds, it is also used as a tool to control. Are you following me? Please take note of these things because I believe that these things are live and well in today. Remember the quotation that we read? With Christ, there are no differences in rank. But the reality is, in the world we live in, these differences are real. Are we together? The blacker you are, you understand? So if you are darker, you are not so welcome in the society. Even amongst your race, you are envied and loved if you are yellow born like Brother Are we together? So he says these are the things that you're going to use. Number one, differences amongst the slaves. Secondly, fear. Thirdly, distrust. Fourthly, envy. These four things are very important. Then he continues. Those methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies. And it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of the list is age. Age. Yeah, as are you following me? Please don't sleep. So he says age. But is there? So it says on the top of my list is age. But it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. Then there is intelligence, size, sex, plantations, then status on plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley or in the hill. So wherever they are, if you use these things, they will help you. We continue. It says, but before that I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust. So now, who is this person that is supposed to be distrusted? Please listen to this important. So he says that divide them according to their color shade, to their colors, and make them distrust each other. And I think this is the experience that we have. Even amongst the Christians, some will actually say it would be better to make a business with a non-Christian than to do it with a Christian, because they are not trustworthy. So it was a plan that was implemented in America to say make slaves not to trust each other. Obviously, if we don't trust each other, we cannot plan together. Even if we are all in the same boat, suffering the same problem, I cannot help you, neither can you help me to move out of the situation. You see what distrust does? Most of the failures of organizations, of churches, are because of this point. Distrusting each other. Are you following me? So that's what he says. So distrust is above all other things. Then I will say to you, trust, so I will say envy is stronger than adulation. And respect or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-failing and self-generation for hundreds of years, 80,000. So he says that if you make them believe that they are not the same, those who are white in complexion, they are better than those who are darker in complexion. They must look at themselves as though they are superior. Those who are intelligent than the other must believe that they are superior than the other. Those who are diligent in the field, performing better, must look at themselves as though they are above them. You see this division? So based on the performance, the color, you are able to create envy and distrust. And once you have done that to them, they will produce offsprings that are going to continue the legacy. Are you following me? Then he says, don't forget, you must pitch the old black man versus the young black man. No, they must be conflict. They must not marry. Young black men and older. So now there shouldn't be a good relationship between parents and children. They must not agree in things. Are you following me? Then he continues. And the young black man against the old black man, you must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves. The light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus female. The male versus male. You must also have your white servants and overseers. Distrust all slaves. So if you don't trust them, it means that you never leave them alone. You are constantly on their case. Are you following me? Please take note of this. Then continue. But it is necessary your slaves to trust and depend on us. They must love us, respect us, and trust us only. That's what is supposed to be done. Now, within the context that I'm discussing this, is the white minority who are hating black majority who are slaves. Exactly. So the point is this: for them to continue serving us, they must not be in harmony. But in that situation, make sure that they have implicit faith in us and they love us completely and respect us. For as long as it is so, as they give birth to their children, they train them that that one is trusted over this one. That one should be loved more than this one. Are we together? And when it's like that, it means that the economy of the slave owner is constantly maintained. There will never be poverty. For as long as those who are enslaved cannot think together. Are you following me? These things are important, because we are suffering the consequences of this land. Are you there? He says, gentlemen, these kids are the keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensively for 1 year, the slave themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. So look at then try to analyze. So you have the picture. You have the blacks trained to perpetuate a certain behavior from one generation to the other. On the other side, you have also whites trained to perpetuate a certain behavior from one offspring to the other. Does it make sense? Are you still there?
Yeah.
So it says, it was in the interest and business of slaveholders to study human nature. And the slave nature in particular, with view to practically resolve. So, practically result, and many of them attained astonishing with view to practically result, and many of them attain astonishing proficiently in this direction. They had to deal not with earth, wood or stone, but with men. They by every regard, they had known for their safety and prosperity, they had need to know the material on which they are to consciously of the injustice. So you know what is being said here? Is that for the slaveholders, they were supposed to study the mind. They were supposed to understand the psychology, so they can use the mind to control. If they're not going to do that, it will mean that their plantation will at stake. Their economy will fail. Let me ask, how many minutes do I have? So that I will know how to press myself. Okay, they don't know. This is fine. Let me continue. 5 minutes. Can't you see that? Alright, let me just try to push with these 5 remaining minutes. So this is what they say they should do. The same way that they train the horses is the same way that they are supposed to train black slaves. So obviously when the horse is not trained, it is wild, it is free, it can do anyhow. But for you to make use of it, you must train it in such a way that it can feed on your hand. You can touch it at any time, anywhere, without any problem. So they had to train also blacks to that same level, where they eat in their hands, they'll get their mess. I remember reading this other quotation, Stalin. Remember Stalin, Russia? Remember, he was abusive to his own people. He tortured many and killed millions. And one brother is asking you, so what makes you think that after abusing them so much, they will still trust you and follow you? You know how he responded to that man? He took a chicken, hold it with his hand, removed all the feathers while it was alive. After that, he threw it down, took the bread in the hand, and the chicken came running, trying to find a shelter in between the legs and feeding from the hand of Sandile. And he says that's exactly what they are going to be. Are you following me? So yes, abuse can make people obedient. Are you following me? So they are saying, what you need to do to train the slaves such that they will train each other. You take one black slave, actually two male slaves and a female and a male child. What you do with the first slave is to take a horse, tie one leg and one arm, and the other horse you tie it on the other side. Then you will hit these horses to poop, and cut the men in between. In the presence of the mother and the baby and the other male slave. And he says that if you do this right, you do it once. Then after doing that, remember this white lady, this black lady, she's actually looking at what is being done to a male. After doing that, take this remaining male, beat him almost to death, but don't kill him, because we'll need him for breeding. We will need him for breeding, in other words, for so the second one is don't kill, but beat him almost to death. So after that, the female is actually looking. So she's actually looking at how male child are treated. And she has a male child in the arm. Obviously, what happens to a female is the desire to protect the child. And that's where the key is. That is the key of a perpetual slavery amongst the black community. It is the ability to hold the minds of the females in the control of the system. It is not that they are not aware of the problem that they are in. They are clear, but they cannot afford to see their children dealt with just like their previous males. Are you following me? So when this female sees how men are dealt with, what she will do, this is what he says, she will train her male child to be physically strong, but she will not give her the mind, because she will not allow him to think properly. Because she will know that thinking means death. Are you following me? So that's what he did. And he said that if this thing is going to be implemented for many generations, she will forever have slaves that are going to set you free. Because if you kill them, you're actually killing your economy. So you need them alive without the brain. How do you do that? Destroy men, render them physically fit, but useless in the mind. And at the same time, what you need to do is to create crisis between males and females. Let them fight against each other, so that they will never come up with anything conclusive. And if that is done successfully, slavery will be there will never be a break. So he says, this is the method. If this is implemented right, for the next 300 years, you will be safe. And he also tells them, once you train them to trust you and to love you, because at this point in time, you are unable to see. Because you're afraid that they may attack you. So make sure that's the entry point where they trust you. Second, don't bring them too close to your house. And let them not to value what you have. So you have to change the value system. It's important. And for me, this is painful. Because currently South Africa has been speaking about land distribution. And I've been observing what land are we getting. People run and get it 3 Caesar square. That's exactly what they're looking for. That's how much they can think. Just to pitch a 1-room shack. Value system. So when you speak of the land, to a white man it means something else. To a black child it means something else. Value system. Are you following me? So these are the challenges that we are faced with in dealing with the racial issues. I'm bringing this to try and think differently. Are you following me so far? My time is expired. But this is what I would say. This extra 5 minutes. 2 minutes. But those that were looking, you gave them more time. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. But this is the point that I wanted to bring up. That if we don't see where we are, we will not be able to remedy this thing. So the crisis that we have currently, males and females, is the result of this thing. This idea of women empowerment, it is still the same process. It is going to perpetuate it until those that are in the situation decide to emancipate themselves from that condition. Will forever be. I want to make still. Most of us do not have money. We are hungry. We have debts. Isn't it so? And I'm telling you, your children are going to inherit your debts. Until there's a decided action on these ends. I wish I would highlight just other few principles that they put in place to make sure that we don't break from the system. But what we need is freedom. If the Son of Man sets you free, I don't think it is wisdom to deal with the perpetrators than to deal with the victims. If victims are dealt with, they will do something for themselves. But for as long as you are looking at the master to free the servant at the expense of the economy, that time will never come. So victims must take responsibility and act. I mean, God has given us. So on this point, I will stop here. There are a few things that I wanted to highlight, but may the Lord bless you for in the interest of time, because I've been seated.
Okay. Father in heaven, we thank you, Lord, so much for this wonderful blessing, which is addressing, Lord, every sensitive and serious things, Lord, that we are facing right now. Oh, Father, we come before you as we are looking, Lord, for liberation, looking, Father, for freedom. We're looking, Father, to be changed in our mentality or our mind, Father, so that we can think the way Jesus Christ will think. That we can solve problems the way Jesus Christ will solve them. Please, Lord, help us this to be educational. Help us this, Father, to inform us in the way we think. Help us, Lord, to be obedient, Father, to you in all time. Help us, Father, not to be found perpetuating the same things that were perpetuated, Father, by the people who came to be your servants, Father. Help us, Lord, Father, to be faithful. Help us, Lord, Father, to do practical solution, Lord, in order for us to be free and to labor for the Master, so that Jesus Christ will come. Please be with us and everyone else and every problem that's going to continue. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
From the eastern